Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good night. Wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, happy Eclipse Day. I'm not sure when you guys are seeing this, but I'm filming this on April 8th. It's going to be uploaded on April 8th, and this is the day of the total solar eclipse. So I hope you guys are feeling the transformation energies. I'm in Dallas, and everybody from all over has been traveling to this city and a bunch of other cities that are on the route of the eclipse to get a glimpse at the eclipse. Now it's super cloudy, so I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to see it, but I will have my little eyewear on. And if you plan on looking at the eclipse, I don't know when y'all are gonna see this, but please protect your eyes. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of people that's blinded by this eclipse. I don't think people are really taking the eyewear thing seriously. But I hope you guys are feeling good. And we've been talking about eclipses and transformation in the beginning. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. A few things that you guys need to know that will really make a difference in your next chapter. A few different beliefs to step into, a few different things to start thinking about and reflecting on that are really going to make a difference in how you see and feel about your next chapter. You guys can, of course, always book sessions with me. Check out the podcast, get into the online community, the book club, everything down below in the description box. I have all of the links there. Also, guys, I'm going to be bringing two new things to Pixie Apothecary. The first new thing that I'm going to be bringing are crystal pendants, just like you see me wearing. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell these or if I'm going to keep these. I'm just not sure, but I've always loved crystal jewelry and I've always worn crystal pieces, and you guys have always asked me about my crystal pieces, and it's been a long time since I got any new crystal pieces, and I decided this would be something really cool to bring to you guys at Pixie Apothecary. So each piece, of course, is going to be one of one. I do a different design on all of them, and they're all wrapped with copper wire, so be on the lookout for these pieces that are going to be coming very soon. Also, guys, I'm going to be offering a basic herb sampler package. So this is for the people that always ask me where I get my herbs from, I'm going to be selling 7 of my favorite herbs, and these are herbs that you guys can smoke, herbs you can use for teas, herbs you can use for spiritual stuff. I'm going to have an herbal guide and some recipes in every package that I send to you guys. You can also use these herbs to make infused oils for your skin, body butters, bath salts, all kinds of stuff. And these are going to be coming from my personal apothecary, since you guys always ask me where I get my herbs from. There's so many different uses for these herbs, and we're going to be getting into a video all about these 7 herbs very soon, and how you guys can step into the sampler. So that's going to be coming very soon to Pixie Apothecary. I'm actually going to be putting that on the website today. If you're interested, you're going to get 5 grams of each herb, and it's basically going to be a sampler set of these herbs that I love and use in almost all of my products that I have on Pixie Apothecary. So we have a lot of new things going on. Make sure you guys are following Pixie Apothecary on Instagram, and of course staying up to date with what I talk about here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. And for a few topics for this video, I went back to the post that I made weeks ago where I asked you guys what are some things that you wanted me to talk about in videos. And something that stood out to me was a question about suppressing your emotions, how to know if you're suppressing your emotions or if you're just moving on. And I think that that's going to be really something that's going to change how we step into this next chapter. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So I think we often ask ourselves, have I really moved on from this, or am I just numb to it? Am I just suppressing my feelings? Do I just not want to accept what I'm feeling? And I think there can be a few things that can be true at once. I think it can be true that maybe you're not done healing from something. And I think it can also be true that maybe you're suppressing certain things. I think it can be true that you're doing a lot of work to understand these things, but you might still hold a little bit of a grudge, you know? Nothing is really black and white in our spiritual journey. I don't think anything is black and white in our spiritual journey. It's kind of black and white at the same time. You know, you have the energy of moving on, being in a new space, being happier, healthier, feeling healed, and all of these great things, but you can also have new triggers that develop based on those situations, new things that can pop up. So I think that honoring our emotions and feeling our emotions and accepting them is going to be a really big thing for us moving forward, because a lot of us have been just denying our emotions. I think that we've been in spaces where we couldn't hold our emotions back. We've been in spaces where our emotions have been uncontrollable, where you've been having anger outbursts or just crying for, no reason, or stepping really deep into your people-pleasing bag, or stepping really deep into your toxic bag. Like, we've been kind of just trying to avoid these painful emotions of isolation, of conflict, of confusion. We've been trying to avoid these things at all costs. And whenever we avoid those things, we miss out on the lesson. We miss out on the whole point. We're never in spaces of pain and grief and confusion for nothing. It's always something for us to learn in that space. So changing how you interact with your emotions, changing how you connect with your emotions and what you're feeling is going to be huge to make sure that you are conquering this next chapter in your life, because the depression is going to come up again. So is the anxiety. So is the doubt. So is, everything that you've ever experienced. But when you give yourself the opportunity to accept all truths of it, like I can feel better about it today and then feel all like I'm starting over again tomorrow. And that's okay. A lot of times we try to analyze too much and we try to be the therapist for ourselves, and we try to, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being your own therapist. I think we all should have the skills to be our own therapist, answer our own questions. Of course, we want to seek outside help whenever we can and whenever we need to, but you want to have that foundation of being able to understand yourself and understand how you're feeling. I think we should really be focused on the present moment. So be more present in the moment in your next chapter. I think that's going to be a huge way to conquer it, because a lot of times we feel okay in the moment, but we don't really believe it because we know that we're still going to have to deal with something in the future. Some of us are, I don't want to say too intuitive for our own good, but y'all know I've been saying ignorance is bliss, and that's the truth. But some of us have maybe seen too much, or we've opened up our third eye involuntarily, or we've, just stepped into a space where we can't run from certain things and we can't hide from certain things. So we don't really have the benefit that we maybe used to have to just live frivolously and be like, I'm good, I'm not worried about this, I'm straight, I'm fine, I'm done with this. Because we've said that before in the past, and we've seen when that same thing came up and knocked us on our asses again. So I think now we're developing a different mindset and a different feeling overall about what we want and how we're moving and how we're navigating in these different spaces, because we know how it feels to have to be in that space again. You know how it feels to have to unearth something after thinking that you were done with it. So we want to try to do whatever we can to be done with it right now and finish it right now. But you can't force your emotions, and you can't force the healing process. And you don't know why that thing hurt you, why that thing broke you, why that thing changed your life forever. You might not ever fully know the extent of it until you leave this earth, because there could be something 5 years down the line that you see, 7 years down the line, 2 months down the line. So we want to be done with the feeling of certain things when it's not done teaching us what it was supposed to teach us through the feeling, So I think we should accept that sometimes you're going to be doing a little bit of everything. Sometimes you might be suppressing your emotions and feeling them in the same moment. Sometimes you might be ready to move on from something, but something might draw you back in. And that doesn't mean you're not doing the work. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that you should quit and start over. It means that you're alive and that life is lifing, and that you have a chance to handle how you respond to those things. So develop a different relationship with the things that you've experienced, and don't feel like there's a cure-all or a moment where you'll get where it'll never affect you again. Sometimes you'll feel like you moved on and then something else will pop up and you might not have time to deal with it right then. So you might have to suppress it a little bit with a little distraction until maybe you can get some time off work or some time away from your kids. There are certain things that we need in order to heal and bring certain things up. That's why people do these ayahuasca retreats, and you have to be with a shaman, and you have to be led through these experiences. Or even when people do EDMR therapy or any type of hypnosis or whatever, you're typically paired with someone that holds your hand through the release, because it's hard. And there definitely are things that we can do on our own, but you don't have to do it on your own. And you want to be able to call on people around you that love you and support you and, want the best for you, to just make you feel validated in those moments, make you feel like you're not crazy, make you feel like you're in a space that you can be in, make you feel like you're going to be able to move and navigate how you want to, as long as you keep moving forward. And I think that the way we change that narrative and the way we allow ourselves more freedom in our emotions is to just, again, change your outlook on it. Don't feel like something has an ending point. Don't feel like healing looks one way. Don't feel like you should feel one way about one thing, and if you don't, it's wrong. Be open to whatever comes up. Be open to whatever comes up. And something I've had to start doing is accepting my emotions no matter what I feel, and never feeling like they're wrong. Even if I feel jealous, and I shouldn't feel jealous because jealousy is a low vibrational emotion, that might be something I still feel as a human being. So if I still feel that, I'm not going to burst to the side. I'm going to ask myself, why do I feel like that? Why am I feeling like I don't have enough? Why am I worried about what somebody else has? Why am I feeling like what I have isn't sufficient enough? Why do I feel like I need mine more than they need theirs? What's coming up for me in this moment? Let me deal with it. Instead of being like, oh, I'm not supposed to feel like that. Let me make sure I never feel like that again. That's impossible. We're always going to be feeling all emotions no matter what. So we want to give ourselves opportunities to feel these things and release them, of course, but we also want to give ourselves a chance to just be honest about it and accept it as it comes. And if you ain't honest with anybody, be honest with yourself. Something else that this kind of ties into is also accepting everything that you've experienced. Accept the trauma and the pain for what it was, and don't make it your life lesson to make it make sense. Understanding looks different as I grow. Acceptance looks different as I grow. Forgiveness looks different as I grow. And I think that overall, we have to be in a space where we acknowledge what happens to us and we aren't hyper fixated on making our life as if it didn't happen. I think that's what a lot of us do. Our heart's been broken, we've been betrayed, we've been deceived, we don't have a lot of people we can call on, and we want to operate like someone who isn't experiencing all of those things. And we kind of let that be our standard. Like, I don't want this to define me. It's not about having something define you. It's about accepting that something is now a part of you and defining a new version of yourself that isn't tied down by that thing. You know, it's not about ridding yourself of it and acting like it doesn't exist. It's about accepting it and being like, okay, this did happen to me. Now, who am I now that this has happened to me? I'm this, and I'm this. What am I going to do about it? I'm more insecure now that this happened to me. What am I going to do about it? Instead of being like, I'm not insecure. I don't care about that. I'm straight. You're not though. You're not though. And I think when we're able to accept everybody's role in it, that's something else we need to do. Acknowledge why people hurt you. Acknowledge that. Some people that hurt you weren't raised right. Some people were raised in homes where their parents were beating each other or their parents were alcoholics. Some people come from environments that are very restrictive, whether it's religiously or with diet or with academics or whatever. Some people have never experienced free love without limits, love without conditions. Some people can't even go around their family without being judged today. Some people were bullied from a very, very, early age from everybody around them. So when we're hurt by people and when we're in points of trauma or pain, all we can think about is, I'm so hurt. I can't believe I'm so hurt. I can't believe I have to deal with this and I have to cope with this. When in reality, there's someone on the other side of that pain that did those things to you because of X, Y, and Z. It doesn't mean it's right, but it just means that it's the truth. It's the truth. The truth of the matter is someone has hurt you because of X, Y, and Z. Yes, the truth of the matter is that they shouldn't have done that. Yes, the truth of the matter is that nobody deserves pain and nobody should have to deal with the pain of somebody else's experiences that they didn't put on them. But that's just not the reality of this life. Yes, hurt people should not hurt people. Yes, that is the truth. People should be hurt and learn from their pain and never hurt anybody again. But we know that's not true. And we have hurt people. Nobody is blameless in the sea of who has hurt somebody, who has changed somebody for the better, for the worse. We have all been somebody's reasons to say, you know what, fuck this person. I'm about to get my life together and boss up and make sure that they never make me feel down again. We've been the reason that someone has leveled up. And we've also been the reason that someone has maybe taken a few steps back and doubted themselves or second guessed themselves or questioned themselves. And that doesn't mean that we're bad people. It doesn't mean that anybody is one thing. It means that we're all everything, and like I mentioned before in a couple of previous videos, you've been the villain in somebody's story, and you might have to be the villain in somebody's story moving forward. If you have somebody in your life that's taking advantage of you and you have to say to them, hey, I'm not allowing you to take advantage of me anymore, they might see you as a villain in their story because they might need you. They might be in a space where they don't know healthy boundaries. They weren't taught healthy boundaries. All they know is that they are lacking in support and love and friendship and kindness, and you are giving it to them. They don't even know how to reciprocate what you're giving because they don't even feel like they possess it. Yes, they are wrong for taking advantage of you, but seeing the full scope of something allows you to actually deal with what you need to deal with in that situation. It allows you to understand how you attract those type of people. It allows you to understand how you respond to those types of things and also what that does for you because it feels good to be needed, so sometimes we also help people. Like I mentioned before in a couple of past videos, why do we help people? Sometimes we help people so we feel better about ourselves, so I think it's important to be honest about how we feel about the things that have happened to us. You don't have to act like you're okay with something if you're not. And if you're not okay with it, then ask yourself why. Ask yourself why you're not okay with whatever happened to you. And you might not ever be okay with the things that have happened to you. It's not about being okay about it. It's just about accepting the facts of it. and having a clear view of the facts, knowing the facts of the situation. So you're not sitting asking yourself, why? Because there's always a why. There's always a why. Even when people do things senselessly, even when people don't have a reason. Some people's reason is to be evil. Some people's reason is to go down in history as a superstar criminal. You know, people have all kind of reasons behind horrific things that they do. It doesn't make it any better, but it answers your question. And it also lets you see that the why doesn't really matter to you. You feel how you feel, and that's what matters to you. Because if someone hurts you and they tell you, well, I hurt you because I was kidnapped and I was this and I was this. If someone has a horrific story and they made you feel horrific, that story might not even make you feel no different. Because how many times have we had our feelings hurt? I've definitely been in situations like this where someone's been like, hey, I hurt you because of this, and this. And baby, I don't even care. That doesn't matter. Because what I feel is valid and what I feel is important. And I've been hurt as well. I've hurt people out of being hurt as well. And I've had to learn that. When you're interacting with people, you have to be able to say, I need a break because I'm going through a lot. I need to handle this. Or you have to be able to own up to and admit, maybe I wasn't being a good friend to you last month, but I had this, and this going on. I'm sorry if I wasn't able to be there for you. Can you forgive me? How can we move forward? How can we create a system where we're able to be there for each other no matter what? Because I want to support you better. You know, it's more than a two-way street. It's like a 50-way street because energies are constantly going back and forth between you and whoever you're connecting with. You know, there's always something a little bit more that each other can do to support the other person, make the other person feel a little bit more comfortable. And yes, it might turn into, I don't want to have to tell somebody how to love me, or I don't want to have to mother somebody, or I don't want to have to do all of this work. But relationships are work, and having people in your life is work. And what a lot of us will realize is that we rather be alone, or we rather be in relationships that don't take all of that effort. And I do think that there are certain relationships that will feel effortless, but there still is effort in those connections. The people that I love in my life the most, the friendships that take the least amount of effort in those friendships might take some effort for me because I have to do the work to be a good friend to you guys. So I have to work to trust y'all. I have to work to communicate effectively. I have to work to show up even when I feel like going in my bubble because I'm having a bad day. You know, I still have to do work on myself, even if the friendship itself is low maintenance, or even if the friendship itself is very peaceful for me. I still have to do work within to maintain that. And I think whenever we are able to accept the role that we play in our pain, we're able to take ownership and understand how much responsibility and power we have to change our pain into happiness or joy. You know, you don't have to be in a space of pain forever. And when you accept, I was in this space because I ignored the red flags. I was in this space because I should have been cut this person off. I was in this space because I thought I deserved this. It gives you the power to change the narrative instead of feeling like other people in your life are the sole reason that you've experienced trauma. You know, sometimes we weren't in spaces where we felt comfortable speaking up. Sometimes we weren't in spaces where we could defend ourselves. Sometimes we weren't in spaces where we had the vocabulary or the tools necessary to get the things that we need, get the protection that we need. But now that we know better, we can protect ourselves better when these situations maybe come up again or come up in a different way, you know? So that can be rough to experience and talk through and understand because we've all experienced so many different kinds of trauma. You know, we've all experienced so many different types of abuse, whether it's psychological or mental or physical or whatever in this life. Some of us experience psychological abuse literally from just searching online all day and getting triggered from things that we've seen. So I think that the biggest shift that we can all embrace that's going to really, really make this next season a season of conquering is to just really take stuff head on and really have those hard conversations with yourself. Really accept and honor your emotions. Honor whatever you're feeling at any moment. Don't feel like you should feel a certain way. Accept what you're feeling in the moment. Be present in it. And those things from the past that are still, you know, popping up for you, those things from the past that you can't let go, work on accepting those things and accepting the facts and kind of understanding the facts of those situations. Because that's going to help when you move forward, because you're going to experience more uncomfortable spaces with people, uncomfortable spaces with your job or with different energies. So you want to be able to navigate those spaces in love and strength. You don't want to ever feel like you're drowning under the weight of what somebody else did to you, ever. You know, and this is a season of triumph, a season of passion, a season of standing up and taking what you want and taking action and taking control of your life. And the last thing that you guys can work on is to just challenge yourself to do different. You know, something that I told my Fruit for You creatives last week. And we're having another Fruit for You class at the end of the year in September. So if you guys missed the first one, a lot of y'all missed the first one, and we're so mad that y'all missed the first one. We're going to have another one in September. So be on the lookout in August to register for that. But when I was talking to the Fruit for You creatives, I told them that when you've been thinking one way for so long, you're not going to just read a pamphlet or read an ebook or read a story about a new mindset and then develop a new mindset. You have to apply those principles in real time. So if you're feeling insecure in your daily life and you keep watching my videos about dealing with insecurity, and when you're insecure, you don't think a positive thought, you don't make yourself feel better, you don't ask yourself why you're feeling this way, then you kind of have to learn how to take action in real time and make better decisions in real time, because we don't have anybody that's telling us, hey, there's a cliff over there, and if you keep going straight, you're going to go off that cliff. And a lot of us have gone over a lot of cliffs, and we're going to keep going over cliffs, and there's only so many times you can go over a cliff and survive to go over another one. So you have to be able to look at your surroundings and say, wait, let me make sure I'm not stepping off of a fucking cliff here. Let me make sure that I'm not stepping back into my pain, back into my frustration, back into my doubt. Let me make sure that I'm not doing the same thing here that I've done in every other relationship. Let me stop myself before I get too deep into this. But if you've been doing it so long, it's going to just be muscle memory. We have muscle memory, we have physical memory, we have spiritual memory, you know, we have emotional memory where we feel one thing and immediately feel the next thing, or we feel accepted and we immediately want to fall in love, or we feel hurt and we immediately want to lash out and hurt them back. So you have to be able to pull in the reins and say, wait, let me get myself together. Because until you do that, you're not going to be ready for your life partner. You're not going to be ready for success in friendship. You're not going to be ready for a lot of things. Because if you keep doing the same things that you've always done just off of your knee-jerk reaction, how can you expect someone to stop themselves from hurting you? Because when that person hurt you, I guarantee you they were thinking of, this person has done this person has done this, I feel this, I'm going to respond this way. They weren't able to stop themselves and say, well, but how is this going to make this person feel? What's going to happen on the other side of that? And there's a chance that stepping into that situation, you didn't say, wait, let me check on this person's character before I give them my all. Let me make sure this is really what I want before I dedicate myself to this person or this situation. So everybody needs to be able to say, wait, and pause before they make any decisions and before they commit themselves to certain things in this new chapter. Give yourself some time. I often say give yourself 24 hours to make some decisions. Even if you just give yourself a little time beforehand to say, wait, let me pause really quick. Let me tap in with myself. You know, don't feel pressured to make decisions. Don't let yourself bully yourself into saying certain things or doing certain things or stepping in the same thing over and over again. Give yourself an opportunity to say, wait, let me pause and do this thing differently. I think being committed to doing things differently is really, really going to make a change and really allow you to see a change in your life, you know. Because we can watch the videos and look at the stuff, but until you are committed to making a change, until you are committed to getting up and talking differently and living differently and walking differently and interacting with people differently and really doing things differently, then, you know, you're going to kind of get the same results, unfortunately. And it's just going to attack you from different angles until you're like, I have to do something different. And that's what everybody experiences. We eventually have to do something different. So yes, guys, those are a few things that I want you guys to keep in mind to help you conquer this next chapter. I think that there's definitely a lot more that I can say about this, but I think overall, we really want to make sure that we're accepting how we're feeling, we're being mindful of how we're feeling, and we're getting in control of our brain. Everything that I mentioned to you guys is going to give you more control over your mindset, over your energy, and that gives you power over your life to make decisions that you need to and to continue to move forward how you need to move forward. So yes, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. Make sure you stay on the lookout for the jewelry pieces that are going to be coming, and these are also gonna be sold individually. I'm just wearing 2 on a chain right now because this is typically how I wear my crystal pieces. I like to wear more than one at once. But when you guys purchase these, you'll be able to let me know the length of the chain that you want that's gonna go around your neck, and I'm gonna have a chart so you guys can decide where you want your crystal to sit. So you'll be able to have a custom chain length, and then you'll be able to choose the pendant that you want. And each of these is going to be one of one, and I'm making these before I send them out, so you're not going to have a wait or anything to get these pieces, and these are going to be coming soon. So I appreciate you guys, and I love y'all, and I hope that, you know, this next season is the best one you've had yet. So yes, I'll see you guys next time. Check down below to book sessions with me, connect with me, shop with me, all of that and then some. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Bless.